Welcome to Venue Stories, a series that explores venue spaces, people who work there and their histories. In this episode, my guest is Salim Rettibi from Cerces and venue director at 30 Euston Square. 30 Euston Square is a Grade 2 listed events venue in central London and dates back to 1906. It features oak-panelled heritage rooms, marble fireplaces and period features. It also has modern AV, flexible spaces and an experienced events team. It's an historic London venue that has preserved much of its original architecture and yet features modern event spaces. Before we get started, a big thank you to our partners for their continued support, Vivid Inc and Eventflow. More about them at the end of the episode.
My name is Salim Rettibi. I'm the venue director here at 30 Euston Square. 30 Euston Square is a venue, a heart of London, a Euston Road. I look after the venue for the last 2 years now as part of CSC brand, WSH, as an umbrella company. I oversee the venue, liaise with clients and lead a team of 120 people on site.
So here you've got 120 people looking after the event bookings and usage of the spaces and...
We've got obviously a variation of team. We've got reception, sales, ops, kitchen, office staff, all self-sustained, although we're part of CSCs, but we're self-sustained venue.
Yeah, and 30 Euston Square itself is a very old building.
It is. It's dating back to the early 1900s. It's a Grade 2 listed building. It's the home of the Royal College of GPs. It has been for the last 12 years or so. So it's quite a versatile venue in terms of flexibility and the size of rooms. We've got 41 beds here, boutique hotel rooms.
But they're only for the use of the clients, and particular clients at that.
Absolutely. So they used for Royal College of GPs members predominantly, and all our event clients and corporate members. We are fairly booked 3 months ahead normally. It is quite popular, as you could imagine, because the location of the site. Euston train station is a direct link to North.
The train station itself is what, a minute's walk?
Yeah, absolutely. You step out of the building and there's the train station there.
Yeah, which some places will boast, good connections because they've got a tube station 5-10 minute walk away. You've got a huge, great big train station with tube access.
Absolutely.
On the doorstep.
Yeah. We've got beside Euston train station and the tube station, literally outside the building. We've got obviously additional St Pancras station and King's Cross as well, with 8 minutes walk from here.
Yeah, connection-wise, that's really, really good. We should also note that we're in a meeting room, a very tastefully decorated meeting room.
So we are an island meeting room, island. So we've got several meeting spaces on this floor. We call them all heritage rooms. So we've got Princess Gate. Princess Gate is the old building or where the old headquarters of Royal College of GPs is to be located, an island. Beresford Pipe. Beresford Pipe is the gentleman who designed this building back in early 1900s. And we've got Scotland, Wales, England as well.
And from the numbers I've got here, the fact that you've got HS2 being constructed right outside, we're not hearing it here. Well, not as much. I'm sure it's been noisier, but today we're doing this and you can't really hear it. And it's, I was looking at the figures. 2024, you had 91 events, auditorium events, as you put it. And then it rose up to 113 in 2025, 130 for 2026. I don't think HS2 is putting anybody off, really.
Correct. I mean, when you walk toward the building, you could notice obviously HS2. There's no hiding from that. But at the minute you step into within the building, you don't notice anything. You don't hear anything. The building itself is very good, soundproofed. Obviously, working with HS2. If there's any major work going on outside, they cooperate with us. They help us. In that respect, they recognise we are a commercial space. But yeah, HS2 obviously future outlook of the whole area is going to change the whole dynamic of the space. You know, beside we're talking about Euston train station, when HS2 eventually finish, there's going to be direct link to north as we know. But imagine stepping out of your train from Manchester and walking into Euston Square for your meeting within hours.
Yeah, well, it's like an hour and a half or something like that. I mean, it's once it's finished and it's gone even quieter. Yeah, I can imagine it's going to become a central place that everybody will want to use because of just having a train station on the doorstep.
Yeah, I mean the direct link to the train station and other parts of the country, it helps a lot. But you know, as I'm sure you notice after our show round today, how unique the building is when you step inside and how light it is and how well equipped in terms of AV equipment and furniture and so on. That's why it make a kind of special place compared to others, I would say.
Yeah, one thing that struck me as we made our way here to this room is just how bright and light it is.
Yeah,
I mean you've gone to great lengths to make sure that natural sunlight is coming into the place.
Absolutely. You know, back when the building was redesigned, the designers obviously have that in mind to keep natural light is a big factor, and also keep the original character of the building as a heritage building with original tiles and high ceilings and
so that redesign was in 2012?
2012, correct.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just looking around and seeing original tiles, original staircases, I mean, it's been preserved beautifully.
Yeah, we were proud of that because that's a unique a point for compared to modern buildings and so on.
Yeah. So this is going back to the bookings and things. How are you finding the bookings? Are you starting to see a change in what people are asking for and what's being provided?
So certainly in the last year or so, the trend changing. We finding more and more repeat business. What we 56% of our bookings here is repeat. You know, CAC is a brand, and combined with 30 Euston Square, we work on the basis of hospitality. So hospitality is a big factor these days. It's not about a table and chair or screen. It's about the full circle of hospitality, which focused on people and the level of service we provide. And that's what we pride ourselves on, 30 Euston Square, but also the product offered. The trend changed. The clients become more, I would say, wary of anything they want. So it forced a lot of other venues in terms of either, as I said earlier, take the route of black and white, this is our brochure, this is what you need to book, or be flexible. And we are flexible. So our team, from the first minute our client get in touch with us, all the way through to the day of the event, we work with the client to deliver that flexibility part. So if the client, so we just launched our Christmas package recently, rather than 3-course sit-down meal, we went down the route, you tell us what we want, and we work with that. And that's what make us different from other venues.
I find it very difficult to talk about anything to do with Christmas, considering what the temperatures are like outside at the moment. But do you find that some venues are finding Gen Z are asking for different things now?
Certainly, yes. I mean, the requirement of the traditional meeting space, as I said, a boardroom, a chair, a screen, and someone talking all day, I think that's long gone. And you know, there are certain parts of the corporate world still work on that basis, but certainly when it comes to Gen Zs, there are a lot of point of difference. They want network and they want to be interactive meetings rather than...
so more face-to-face, more
yes.
talking to each other than sitting through a long presentation or a speech or...
Exactly that, yeah. And you know, the little huddles, I call them, they want to discuss and debate about things rather than being told this is what it is and off.
So when you have a breakout session, or breakout sessions, I should say,
yeah.
I mean, they're really appreciating that, and the fact that they can be in a small room where it's a little bit more, I don't know if intimate's the right word, but they're a small group.
Exactly.
And they can feel that they have a chance to speak because they're not surrounded by lots and lots of people.
Exactly.
Not fighting to speak.
Yeah, I mean, we at 30 Euston Square, we have the space, we have the flexibility to have these little groups everywhere. We've got multiple room sizes.
How many rooms have you got?
We've got 22 meeting rooms.
That's quite a few.
Yeah, we just, in fact, we added, it's busy today, we have a new space on our 4th floor. It's like a networking hub, almost like for up to 100 people. It's a breakout room as well, could be a meeting space. A lovely room with a big high windows with a lot of natural light, seeing all the skyscrapers around us here. Yeah, it's something we obviously work toward with our clients when they give us feedback, so we realise there's a gap. Anything between 50 to 120 we couldn't accommodate in the past, so we worked tirelessly with our client to create that space, and yeah, it's proven to be popular in the next few months or so.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine art of sort of balancing the flexibility of what the building can provide and what clients are asking for, especially if they are, or have Gen Z amongst them. I mean, if they're, well, our future leaders, our future budget holders are going to be the Gen Z.
100%. It's already happening. So it's already happening now. I mean, you look at the exams we're having today, all the future GPs or solicitors or lawyers, they're all Gen Zs, and they are going to be the decision makers, and they are making decisions right now where they want to go and what they need to have as food, as refreshment, as entertainment, anything related to that experience.
I can imagine, I mean, exams will always be exams, you can't change that, but everything that happens before and happens afterwards.
Or during or between, in terms of lunches, you know, sustainability is big now with food, you know, the source of food, what you do, and I haven't shown you the kitchen today, as you can see, everything is done, freshly prepared in-house, and with the ECG, you know, in mind. We are big on that when it comes to Cersei as a brand.
Yeah, I mean, sustainability is still very important, and having on-site catering really helps with that.
Yeah. We, as you've seen today, you know, everything is done in-house, everything done is fresh. We're encouraging more and more less red meat. So in the past few years, traditional menu, you will see 2 to 3 type of meats. Now you see one type of meat and the rest vegetarian, vegan. And we're working with our clients, especially when it comes to chef choice menus. Our chefs is very much lead in the front in terms of food selection. So a portion control and less red meat. In that sense. Yeah,
there's quite a few London, well, I don't know about the rest of the country, but the London caterers I've met, they've all said that they're reducing the red meat to perhaps just chicken and that's it.
Yeah.
And then a lot more a lot better options for vegans and vegetarians.
Absolutely, yeah.
Which is really good to see. And of course, that's been led by Gen Z. They're demanding better food options and not necessarily sit down 3-course at a big table and it's all formal and very serious.
I mean, those days, don't get me wrong, our clients still need that type of catering. Again, going back to the flexibility, we are working with our clients. What do you like and dislike? But we encourage that sustainable kind of approach to food, to everything we do at 30 Euston Square. So if a client say we want more red meat in the menu, we obviously consider it. We're not going to say no, but again, we advise against it and give them better option, whether it be fish, whether it be chicken, whether it be other options in the menu.
Yeah. And obviously there's a drive to alcohol-free drinks as well.
So again, CSC has been leading the front in terms of working with third-party suppliers and providing and encouraging alcohol-free or low alcohol drinks. Obviously, 30 Euston Square being the background of the building, it's more health and medical driven kind of.
Well, considering you've got the GP and you've got all the exams related to that happening, and there's a big drive to healthcare, I can imagine healthy food options and better, more alcohol-free drink options.
Yes.
I mean, you kind of have to, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and again, you're talking about Gen Zs. That's the choice. You know, if you look at hospitality and catering, the more you read and hear and all, you know, there's more, less and less alcohol served in establishment like restaurants and pubs and venues, and then more low alcohol or non-alcoholic drinks served over the counters. So we are following that trend. We are leading as CSC as a brand, leading the front and that side.
So
of it.
not just reacting to it, but actually taking it forward.
Yeah. Working with third-party suppliers, our suppliers, we always take their advice and what's the trendy drinks, know what people like, and you'll be amazed what selection. We're working with our partner, which is Club Soda. Club Soda is like not just your typical can of a non-alcoholic drink. It's a variety of selection from wine, champagne, sparkling wines, in mood-enhancing drinks, which we find more and more very popular with Gen Zs. You know, everyone after those type of drinks.
What is a mood-enhancing drink?
It's like
give an example.
It's a kind of fizzy drink. There's a brand in particular called Trip. You find like infused drink with some herbal kind of infused. And
so natural herbs.
Natural herbs.
Otherwise, if you call it a trip, but then people might get the wrong idea.
Natural herbs.
Yes, natural herbs.
And it kind of enhance your drink. Depend the time of the day. If you're feeling a bit, need to pick me up.
You're flagging a bit, especially in this heat wave we're going through for the third time, I think it is. Yeah, I mean, you do need something to keep you going and then pick you up a bit.
Yeah, something refreshing, something, obviously alcohol free, but, kind of give you that, they call it mood enhancer or pick me up drink, so to kind of go back in your refreshing kind of a way of thinking.
Yeah, I think most people would think coffee is the bit that does it for them. But yeah, I mean, again, Gen Z may not be in with coffee and the tea and the standard traditional servings. So
absolutely. I mean, coffee, a good point. Quality coffee now matters. So when it comes to Gen Z, so you have to find a source where you could obviously sustainable. There's a story behind it, back where the coffee was harvested and the labour attached to it and the country and so on. So you have to tell all of that story, and we're finding more and more clients asking the background of everything our supply chain come from. Where's your coffee come from? Where's your tea? Where's your...
So it's not so much being a coffee snob and saying we need to have the best coffee because this coffee tastes best, but actually where the coffee's coming, is it sustainable?
Yes.
And the where it's actually coming from, supporting the people who actually are producing the coffee, especially in countries that need that support.
Yeah, and that's... you know, we obviously talk about Gen Zs, but we don't forget we employ probably 90% of our teams as Gen Zs, you know, and we listen to them. We talk to them on a regular basis as well, what they like and dislike, what they want to see, how they want to be treated, and so on. That's important because that's a full circle.
And they are the people who should be having those conversations,
yes.
Not somebody who's much older.
Yeah, and we listen. Everyone count, everyone have valid voice when it comes to our people, but also Gen Zs, because we like talking about Gen Zs now from the client perspective and the other side, the service provider perspective. So, you know, they have to meet somewhere. You know,
yeah.
That's a very important factor in the whole process. You can't provide a venue with good food and drinks and so on. So that is one of the important parts for us in talking to our Gen Z teams and making sure everything they do is on par with everything we deliver as well.
You've got at least around 25 years of experience in hospitality. I mean,
yes, yeah.
We've talked about how Gen Z is changing things, but that's something that's happened maybe over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes. Yeah.
So have you seen things over the last 20? I keep saying that I shouldn't, but 25 years of experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't want to make you sound too old.
No. I mean, I started in hospitality fairly young, and developed through multiple European countries and settled here in the UK for the last 22 years or so. But what really changed my mindset or made me think is COVID. Post-COVID, and the necessity to adapt and be flexible and listen to what the clientele want, and predominantly, as we're talking about Gen Zs, that are decision makers, and a chief exec these days trust their Gen Z PA to make a decision in terms of what venue they want to book and what hotel or what restaurant they're going to dine at, and so naturally we have to read the room, and I did, and trying to kind of work with our teams and listen to them as well, and take their advice, and look at what's going on in hospitality as a whole in terms of trend, and adjust our way of thinking. The traditional hospitality where it used to be, someone managing a whole business from a desk, it's out of the window in my opinion. I'm very in touch with the team, I'm very in touch with the clients, talk to the clients, ask for feedback, what you like and what you dislike, how can you improve your experience for the next time when you come back. That's the key for me. Yeah,
I mean, we don't actually have to be attached to our desks anymore because, as you explained, it's very important that you have these face-to-face conversations.
Yeah.
But also our modern gadgets and gizmos means we can actually move around and still be in touch, still get the information we need to do the job. And it's, I don't want to talk about AI, it's too many conversations everywhere. I don't know, I can't decide whether it's awful or good. But, it's there, so you can actually just get up, go around, talk to people and not be tied to a desk.
Yeah, obviously the modern tech allow you to do more and more, but naturally with hospitality, when it comes to hospitality, and I think it's a people industry, there are times you have to look at the paperwork, you have to look at the computer, you have to look, but also most of the time you have to be in touch with your clientele, the front line, I call it, your clients who's going to come back because you made the effort and spoken to them and listened to them, your team who feel like included in your thoughts and process. It's not a cliche. Often in busy days I go to the pot wash area, roll my sleeve and help our kitchen porters, because that's what leaders should do. And that if we're talking about leadership here, you have to adapt and change through the years, like adapting and changing for the modern day with tech and Gen Zs and everything. So leadership shouldn't stop on managing the business based on a spreadsheet, full stop.
Yeah, there's far too much spreadsheet use. But yeah, I mean, the getting involved in all the aspects of the business, as you say, getting in the kitchen and helping out.
Yeah.
You're a team member.
Yes.
You may work for Cersei's,
Yeah.
but you're still a member of the team here.
Absolutely.
So you get to have those conversations that if you was to sit at your desk and say, okay, you do your job, I'll do mine, that's fine. But you're actually getting in with the team and you're talking to the team and you're helping out with their jobs. So you have that, they will feel more comfortable talking to you about things.
Yeah, yeah. I remember my first week here, I had face-to-face, one-to-one conversation with every single individual in the team, because it's important to listen to their way of frustration, there's something we can improve as a company and how can we work with them and we close the gap. And the real achievement here is we brought a team in terms of culture, all thinking forward and all wanted to work together as a team, regardless the obstacle or hurdles it might come, because there are good months and there are bad months in hospitality, and with the ever fast changing world outside there, you've got to adapt and change to every single day.
Well, it's more, these days it's more than seasonal changes. There are things happening around the world, which I don't have to go into detail about. I'm sure people are aware of what those additional challenges are. And you have to, as a team, you have to react together and move forward together. And you have the fresh ideas of the Gen Z now, of how they would like to see things done and how they are reacting to outside influences.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be creative, and innovation in hospitality is a key to success. If you sit and wait for the business to come to you, you'll be left behind for sure. If you're, we have once a month we sit down around the table and we'll call it the innovation session. So all the new ideas, how can we improve the business, what's working, what's not, and how can we move forward. Well, obviously we read the room, like you mentioned, there are factors outside our control affecting whether it be the industry, whether it be the world or wherever, but we have to adapt and we have to find ways how can we work. And London in particular, I mean, is very competitive. Over 3,000 venues in London, and you have to be a valid venue to compete and be competitive amongst a lot of other venues I'm sure you're aware of, and that's how we work. And if you sit and wait, you'll be left behind.
Yeah, you have to be active and waving the flag, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many venues. I just go back to the history of this place, because I think the story of a building, story of the business, and the stories of the people who work there make the difference.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, as I said, the building dating back to early 1900 is to be an insurance headquarters. It was closed down for quite a bit of time. It was derelict. The Royal College of GPs, as a charity, bought it, moved from Princess Gate to this building back in 2012. Spent a lot of resources and efforts to refurb the building as a whole. And as CSC's preferred caterer, we joined forces and made this building one of the leading venues. So the venues have the venue have a lot of history, a lot of foundation, and we want to continue building on that and working with our partners, obviously, whether it be from CSC's point of view or the Royal College of GP's point of view, join forces and making that success valid for the long term. Yeah,
the story of this building is so evident with the I think I've mentioned already, but the amazing tiles and the staircases. I mean, it's amazing how you can walk through this building and one moment you're in bright shiny and you can tell it's from the 2012 redesign, and then you see loads of history. It's amazing. And there's one thing I haven't seen is where's all the tech? Where's all the AV stuff? Because I'm not seeing it around the building. I mean, it seems to be hidden away.
Yeah, so every single room throughout, whether it be meeting room, an event space, exam centre, auditorium, all have integrated AV. A high value, I would say, back in the day when RCGP, Royal College of GPs, took over the building, they invested heavily on modernising the building as a whole, not just from the look and feel of the place, but also the AV side. So all our rooms have VC, whether it be for virtual calling.
Sorry, VC.
VC, we call them in the short term. So VC is something you see. For instance, I'm pointing to the telly there, that unit, the long unit under the telly, so you could call and speak to someone from the other side.
Oh, visual calling. Okay, yeah. It's a very big screen.
Yeah, and then this is, I would say, a typical example, but all our rooms have various sizes of, from 80-inch screens and meeting spaces to the 55-inch tellies. Everything is integrated. We have wireless connection as well, click shares everywhere in the rooms. Our auditorium kitted with the most up-to-date projector screen, which technically you could call it as a cinema screen.
So the auditorium,
Yes.
which floor's on that? Because
it's a lower ground floor, so through the exhibition space, we've got a massive exhibition space there, and then a 306-seater auditorium, which is fully kitted with AV. So we've got our own AV team here on site, so there's no third party involved. We've got technicians, audiovisual. We could record anything from broadcast to filming, anything you basically ask us to do in that respect. And all our rooms are kitted fully with tech. We've got high-speed Wi-Fi as well, dedicated to our commercial clients. All when they on site, it's seamless. We're not asking for your details, so we'll bombard you with emails. Just simple, what I call click and connect to the Wi-Fi. So we're trying to keep, talking about Gen Zs, we're trying to keep ahead. Traditionally, for a long time, and I think it's still valid to this days, hospitality has always been 10 years behind in tech. Being a member of Institute of Hospitality, I attended quite a few seminars about tech and hospitality, and we try to keep ahead of ourselves and what the clients require, what they're asking us. When they want something in particular, we explore it, and if we can make it happen, definitely we can. If not, we partner with third parties and provide it for our clients. But 90% of the time we have everything on site here. So we very rarely need third parties' involvement.
So self-contained.
Self-contained, exactly that, yeah.
And again, there's a lot of history of this place, so, and it's been very well preserved. And it's a grade 2 listed building, I understand.
It is, yes.
So some of the things that you would really like to change, you can't.
We can't. I mean, that's a pro and con kind of scenario. So it gives the place a character, like the wood where we sat here. All the wood here is preserved, grade 2 listed. The tiles, the staircases as a building, but also when the building was redesigned back in 2012, the planners and people who made the decision gave us that opportunity to upgrade the building. We worked with the designers to preserve everything with the meaning to the building, and also add that modern touch to it. So there's a combination. There's the heritage feel in the space, but also there's a modern approach when it comes to tech and lifts and things like that.
And the big open spaces that you've got with all that natural sunlight coming down.
Which is rare in London, right?
It is very rare in London. the problem with, I'm sure most people know, I mean, the problem with whatever you go, grade 1 or grade 2, very difficult to provide step-free access, because you can't get rid of the steps, you can't take them away, you can't change them. So when it comes to people who need that wheelchair access.
Yeah, we've got a dedicated entrance for accessible entrance. We've got all, I mean, lately we signed up to what I call Accessibility Google Map, a special site where accessible needed, so you go in there, they'll give you the venues with accessibility in terms of lifts, in terms of ramps, in terms of everything you need in that aspect of it.
Yeah.
And just to put ourselves out there as a venue as well, because you have to cater for all needs, not anything in particular. So all our floors are accessible, all our floors, bedrooms also, and yeah, we're proud of that. Basically, you know, we like working in that aspect of being an accessible venue.
Yeah, when we made our way to this room for our chat, going into a lift on the ground floor, well, I say ground floors, how many levels below ground floor?
So ground floor, we've got a lower ground floor, and then 5 floors above that. So 7 floors.
7 floors in total.
Yeah.
So when we came out of the lift, we did actually have a look around the top floor, the very, very top floor, where you've got access to the area outside.
Yes, rooftop terrace.
The rooftop terrace is very nice.
Yeah.
Does feel like you're on top of a mountain.
Yeah.
But it's coming out of the lift and going, wow, so much light.
Yeah.
And then I don't like heights, so you're looking down, you go, how far down is that? It's not seeing down to ground level, you're seeing down to the lowest floor.
Yes, yeah. So we've got the atrium opening, obviously, as you're stepping out of the lift with the barriers, but you can look down and see all the floors. Obviously, if you're afraid of height, unfortunately, you're
I'm uncomfortable with heights.
Yeah.
But the thing I'm really impressed by is today you've got an awful lot going on.
Yes.
Mainly because you've got exams going on as part of the GP thing. But the thing I'm impressed by is it's so quiet.
It is. That's the big plus in this venue. You know, when you are on site, you don't notice what goes on next door room or the floor above you or the floor below. The building is so big in spaces, you know, there's no, each space have their own self-contained kind of offering, whether it be for food serving, so the auditorium will have the exhibition space where all the food, they have own bathrooms, locker rooms, cloakroom, access to the lifts and so on.
You've got a gym hidden away somewhere as well, haven't you?
Yes, we do have a gym in our lower ground floor. All our members and corporate members have access to as part of the offering we do. The 5th floor also have self-contained floor in terms of rooftop terrace, bathroom, kitchen, to a breakout space. That's one of our larger spaces here. We could do evening events, daytime conferences or meetings, any type of occasion, in fact, we could do in our 5th floor.
Do you find when it comes to the more energetic events, do you find that Gen Z are moving towards more when it finishes late afternoon as opposed to having an evening thing? Mm-hmm. Do you find that happening? Is there a demand like that?
Naturally, most of our events here finish a little earlier than, like, not past midnight, if that is what you're asking me. I think, you know, Gen Zs do like that flexibility in terms of finishing early, or we could finish later. I mean,
well, there's a Gen Z trend, if I can call it that, where they much rather have whether it's a more energetic event, mm-hmm. or whether it's some sort of conference, to end early because they would rather go home. not ending late, really late in the evening, like a networking event. So if you called it like a networking event, they would much rather it ended at 5 as opposed to ending at 7 or 8 because they want to go home. They want They want to go home and reset themselves.
Yeah, most of our daytime meetings or conferences finish around 5 or so, and most go after that. But our events, whether be linked to Gen Zs or not, they have the odd drink reception at the end, or a bit of, especially the rooftop terrace, that we could put a bar out there. And people.
But I was just wondering how the influence of Gen Z was with events, whether you're seeing a trend more towards, can we please finish at 5 or 6? Because, as I say...
You could say that, and again, we work with our client being flexible. If there's a request, we're finishing. We don't want anything.
Well, obviously the options are there to go on much later. But as I say, I was more interested in how Gen Z is affecting those trends, whether there's more of a demand for events finishing at 5 or 6 as opposed to finishing at 8 or 9 or...
Yeah, you could say that. I mean, as I said, majority of our daytime business finish at 5, and obviously with exception of people who want, or clients who want to carry on for the evening, but majority, I would say 90% that do, whether that related to Gen Zs, I'm not entirely sure, but that Gen Z effect definitely is there in the decision making from the start when it comes to the time of the event finishing and starting. Perhaps it's not on the day, decided on the day, because on the day, if the client committed to finish at 5, they have to finish at 5.
Right. Okay, let's finish off. Everything sounds absolutely amazing, I must say. I mean, the history, just how bright it is inside. From the outside, you would have no idea, not a clue that it's such an amazing place inside.
Yeah.
And obviously, we're waiting for HS2 to finish.
Yes.
So, with that in mind, what do you see for the future? What's coming up in the next few years in a way of not just what 30 Euston Square is doing, but how do you see things moving forward generally, especially in relation to Gen Z?
Yeah, obviously from a 30 Euston Square perspective, we're going to continue to innovate and look forward to the future, read, for a better word, the market, what people, clients and Gen Zs require for us. In terms of Gen Zs and industry and so on, and obviously the industry have to adapt and change. There are, in my opinion, a lot of venues, for a better word, still very much black and white, and in my opinion they'll be left behind if they don't. And it's a collective effort. The industry have to move together rather than one or two venues, because it's hard when the trend is there for everyone to follow. It become kind of easier process, but you have to be smart about your choices as a venue, and who you direct your business to and who you want to attract.
So it's got to be more than following a trend. You've got to see where the trend's heading.
Absolutely.
And use that as a, again, for lack of a better expression, that's got to be your goal. It's just to go beyond what the trend is now and look where it's going.
Yeah, you have to read the room and see what Gen Zs and not just follow, like you said, the trend, but you have to be creative in terms of how to attract those Gen Zs to you and what make you stand out of the crowd and be unique in certain ways.
Well, you have to be unique because, as we've said earlier, and as you pointed out, there are so many venues in central London that you've got to find a good reason to stand out. I would say a valid reason to stand out, not simply a meaningless marketing statement, but
no.
You've got to be doing something that is beneficial, or a reason to be seen as, well, again, lack of better expression, a leader in your field.
Exactly that. I mean, as I said, if you sit and wait, nothing is going to come your way. Eventually you'll be left behind. A lot of other venues racing for the same thing. So you have to be in that front line, looking how to improve, how to change, how to essentially create that repeat business. Not just by saying it and putting it in social media and say I'm doing this, but in reality you're not doing anything, but you really practice what you preach in that respect. So we are working very, very hard in the background with our a brand, obviously CSEs and Royal College of GPs. How can we enhance our cultural values? And for instance, one of the examples, if I can say this, on the 17th of July, which is next Friday, we are creating a day of celebration for a Second Nature, called it Second Nature Summit. So we're getting all our CSE venues together, all our clients together, celebrating sustainability, source of our food, how can we improve on that, how can we make essentially Gen Zs happier with the product we offer. And then the second part of the day we do in what we call a World Food and Culture Festival. So we're celebrating food from around the world. All our chefs from the brand, including 30 Euston Square chefs, is going to take part of the event and cook something from back home or present something, and then again we're going to celebrate that. Hospitality is very multicultural kind of industry, so we're celebrating our people and that side of it. And that's not a statement just to be put out there, that's something to be proud of, because we're getting everyone involved. And going back to Gen Zs, there are a lot of Gen Zs in our team, and they want to be made to feel valued and heard.
Which is a great thing to do.
No, I think the industry, as you said, as you pointed out, I've been in the industry for many years now, but I think if you are looking back, you never see the future. So you always have to look forward. And I think from my point of view, and 30 Euston Square and CSEs, we are thriving on that. We are. It's all about innovation. It's all about driving that aspect of creative outlook and how to attract business, but also how to improve what we do in the same time. And I think that's something. If the industry as a whole look forward to, because as we pointed out, it's very competitive. A lot of venues look what to guarantee now, not worry so much about the future.
So more short-term planning as opposed to mid to long-term.
Exactly, yes.
Views ahead.
Yeah. The industry as a whole, I'm not making a political statement by all means, but the industry was overlooked for many years as hospitality, but it's a very big part of the economy, right? And you look at London as a whole, what it brings to the economy from the hospitality sector alone, and I think it deserves a bit more attention in my views. And I'm not shy in saying investing in future generations when it comes to hospitality, the education part of hospitality, because really to find a younger, I have apprentices here which I took and through a program, and it's great to see 19 years old flourishing and doing ever so well. And I hope venues around London and the country do the same, because they're the future leaders, they're the future of hospitality. And if we don't do that, hospitality become a dinosaur, and in the way that everything we do. So
with having apprentices, you can instill them with the way you would like the future to be by sharing that with them now, so they have the potential to influence and make that reality.
100%. They, as I said, they're the future leaders. You invest in now, for the future, whether they stay with us or not, but they will do something in the future for the hospitality to benefit from. And you know, again, going back to Gen Zs, you know, they are the people who learn and know how hospitality is to make a decision in the future and become the leaders of that. Essentially, who knows, in a few years' time, it might be Gen Z leading this venue, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's a great goal.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We're going to leave it there.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm sure we can keep going. I mean, there's a lot of pressures on hospitality right now, but that's for another episode, for future time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Huge thanks to Salim for his time and to our partners for their continued support. Vivid Inc., PR and social media marketing specialist for the event industry, and Eventflow, the secret weapon for event teams who have had it with PDF exhibitor manuals. Links to our partners are in the description, and if you enjoyed this and want to hear more episodes, then please subscribe to get notifications. And to you, thanks for listening.